Hello, poor people. How are you today? Very quickly, we'll touch on the concepts how to help people. This is a very interesting one because there are individuals, benefactors, as well as senders who complain online that they helped this person. They saw this guy through this master's program, and finally, he has gotten a job. Time to repay. And the ignorance, the negligence of the welfare of the person who put you through school, who helped you do XYZ, who transferred you to this job is at its peak. So I sat as a professional in all my wisdom. What is wrong? What did these people do wrong? Where did they get it wrong? Why is it you help someone today, he neglects you tomorrow? Is there a secret to this knowledge? Is the process only limited to the individual? We are going to answer this question tonight because there are times where the fault can be from the person. The person can be ungrateful. But you'll be learning tonight that this teaching immunizes you from the personality of the benefactor, that regardless of who this person is, practicing this law would force him to be grateful. I was listening to a documentary about a well-renowned artist. I won't mention his name. So the interviewer asked him, you started from the trenches, obviously, and now look at where you are. Your journey so far, it has been amazing. How did it happen? Who paved the way for you? And his response shocked the world. So let's backtrack for context. This is an artist. Obviously, he came from the trenches and he signed into this label. After 2 years, was well established. And unfortunately for the label, there are conglomerates who center around one person. This was the case, such that after the departure, few months and some years of toil and struggle, they couldn't find a replacement and the brand folded. This artist would go on to pursue his career, increase it to heights unimaginable. And when he got to the door of greatness, to the corridor, at the pinnacle of his career, who paved the way for you? Nobody. Nobody paved the way for me. Now, if we sit and analyze as professionals, the reason he gave that response is because the brand has folded. Unfortunately as it sounds, nobody wants to be associated with failure. Nobody would ever credit their success to a failed brand, a failed product, or a former successful person. That is how life works. Take CEOs, businessmen, veterans, and all of these people. Never have they said in a podcast or any kind of interview, how did you become successful? And they attribute it to someone who is out of the business or folded company or some entrepreneur who's phased out. It's never happened. Take Bezos, for instance. At the beginning of Amazon, there were investors, 5 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand. All of this might sound trivial in comparison to the name, but the infancy, it was worthwhile. Why does he mention, I can't recall the name of those companies? Because they are still in existence, they are still successful. Let me make it clear. Nobody is going to attribute his success if you are no longer doing well. Think about your life. You too want to be associated with a wealthy person. The reason you want a hot model beside you is because it increases your status. You want to be with friends who are clubbing or have a nice lifestyle or nice apartment because it increases your status. So nobody wants to be associated with a failure. The caveat, when you help people, it should never be at the expense of yourself. You do not help at the expense of yourself. You do not neglect yourself and pour your heart to this individual. I don't care if it's your child. I recall when I made my first million, my father advised me to sponsor the trip of a sibling. I said no. I would help myself first. I would invest in this asset. I would build this house. Then when the construction is complete, the proceeds can be used to sponsor any kind of trip. But I would help myself first before anybody else. Because I know how ungrateful humans can be, especially women. Haven't you seen it? You share a story to your partner. Oh, babe, I don't think I can come through on this bill. And 2 days later, she asks you for money. It's not because she's a bad person necessarily, but that's how women think. They're ungrateful. They think about the next thing you do for them, not what you did previously. Everybody's ungrateful, but it's more with women. If you help me today, or if you show me some kind of favor in business, I will try my best to see how I can pay you back. Whether you like it or not, whether it's a connection you give me or you patronize one of my various businesses, I will make it my business to see how I can add value to your life. That's how men think. Even if you are the most selfish person on earth, if you are a beneficiary of someone like Elon, I guarantee you, with digital precision, you would always mention his name at the beginning of your story. Why? He doesn't need you. He's doing well. You want to credit your success to someone who is successful too. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you notice, it's always the peasants. It's always someone in some small village somewhere complaining he helped this person and the guy doesn't want to reciprocate. Very rarely do you see individuals in mansions making such statements. In fact, it's a very interesting word. The peasants, the bourgeoisie, the poor people are the ones with this testimony. This is only point one. Stay tuned for the remaining two. As always, my friends, it's a pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you in the next one.